Hey guys! Love Nation is having parties for our New York and Boston fans in February.
And so stick with us February 9th at 7 at Foundation Lounge in Boston.
And then on February 16th in New York at Public House at 6:30.
So look out for the Eventbrites as you saw below, and we'll also link it up below this video. So hope to see you guys there.
Boston and New York, we're coming.
This week's episode of Love Nation is brought to you by Social Boston Sports, the Intercontinental Boston, and Tiger Boat. Hello and welcome to Love Nation. I'm Thomas Edwards.
And I'm Laurie Davis.
Love Nation covers emerging trends in the dating world. And this week, we're talking about
Internet marrieds.
So, who are they?
Well, internet marrieds are people that met online and are married now. They're
Simple
not just
enough.
Dating. They have moved on to the next stage.
Yes.
And so let's talk a little bit about who's online, right?
Okay.
In 2006, from a Pew study, they said that 1 in 4 American singles are dating online. But obviously, 2006, things have changed drastically. Online dating has even increased more. And the final numbers aren't in yet, but supposedly in 2009, it was slated to be a $1 billion industry.
That's incredible.
So I'm sure that there are a lot more people dating online now, a lot more people getting married.
Oh, yeah.
And there are thousands of sites. You know, online dating is becoming a big thing.
Yeah, and you know, the more people who join these online dating sites, it makes sense that a lot of them are going to start to get into long-term relationships. And based on the same study, 17% of these singles are actually getting together into long-term relationships. And so you can clearly tell that over the years, from, you know, way back when online dating had just come out and it was just frowned upon, the perception of online dating has completely, I would say, is close to transitioning to where it's completely acceptable.
Right. Well, there used to be like this awful stigma, and you know, it's just not there anymore. In fact, most people are dating online. So if you're not on, you got to get there, because it's really where, like, the best place to find
potentials.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool.
I like that you just finished my sentence. It was funny.
Yeah. And, you know, also, you know, people would say, you know, well, it's so weird to meet people online. But honestly, a lot more people feel as though their marriages and their relationships are stronger because they met online.
Absolutely. 57%, I think.
Yeah.
57%.
If you want to be specific. Yeah. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that the process of online dating is a lot more seamless.
It's true. You get to know someone before you meet, and you can check them out before you even get in contact with them. It's very efficient. It's great for people who are in business.
Yeah.
And it's not just in cities anymore either. It's branching out to suburbs and more rural areas. It's becoming like a phenomenon.
It's interesting you mentioned that, for sure, because when you think about it, when you find people online, you know, I guess the options and the filtering are different. So you can potentially, your mate could be in another state. And so as these relationships and as people continue to date online, there's going to be an increase in also commuter couples.
Right, which was another episode, so you should go watch it if you haven't.
We'll link it up so you can check it out as well, because that's also very important. All right, so let's give some tips for these internet marrieds, or for those who would love to find the one online.
Absolutely. So let's first talk about the ones who want to meet someone online and get married.
Okay.
First tip, join multiple sites. Don't limit yourself, you know. Check out a couple different things. Get yourself out there. You know, you're going to find a little bit of overlap between people on one site and people on another, but you never know where the one is going to be. He might be on Match.com, or he might be on OkCupid, or he might be on eHarmony. You just never know.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that, I mean, I was just talking to two wonderful women a while ago before we started shooting, and they had told me that they were also on eHarmony, but they had a bad experience, and so they completely shunned online dating. And I mean, personally, for me, who hasn't gone online dating, I can still say that, you know, looking at the sites and checking them out, the different dating sites provide a different experience. And so even though you didn't have a good time on eHarmony, you might have a blast on OkCupid, or you might have a good time on Match or Chemistry. But just continue to open yourself up to those options.
But, I mean, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
Because that is what I do, right?
Exactly.
I'm an online dating coach, and you need to look where your target demographic is, and, you know, someone that is on eHarmony might not be on OkCupid, and that's the point.
Yeah.
But also, another tip is that you, oh, that's right. I did say that. It's not necessary to lie about where you met anymore.
Yeah.
You know? You don't have to tell your friends, like, oh, we met at that party the other night.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do when I first started online dating. I was a first adopter, you know? And so now you can just totally be honest, like, oh, we met on Match. And people are like, oh, great, I know another couple who got married from meeting on Match. I hear that
and
all
be
the time.
proud, too, right? I mean, right now, if you're a couple and you've been married and you found each other online, you're an anomaly for right now. And so you're you're walking proof that you can find love online. So be proud of that. You know, it's a big deal.
Yeah, and educate others too, you know? Let them know that you met online and talk about what site you were on and what your experience was like, and help your single friends. Yeah,
share your story. I think, you know, if you were married and you had talked to those two women that I talked to previously, they would probably think twice about wanting to join their site, you know?
Absolutely. Definitely.
All right. So before we get into our email, let's talk about our sponsors.
Absolutely. So first today is Social Boston Sports. It is your community for awesome Boston events. They provide co-ed recreational sports leagues like dodgeball, kickball, and softball, weekend adventure trips, skiing, skydiving, whitewater rafting, and tons of parties and events throughout the city for 21 to 35-year-olds. Visit socialbostonsports.com.
And, of course, we are here at Rumba, which is the Intercontinental Boston's exclusive hotspot and is also home of Love Nation. Rumba has been named among the top 100 bars in the U.S. by Food and Wine magazine in their Cocktails 2009 book, and was also voted Best Hotel Lounge of 2009, Best Hotel Bar of 2008, and Boston's Best Kept Secret of 2007 by Improper Bostonian. And lastly, it's Best of the New 2007 by Boston Globe magazine. This place is awesome. If you're in the Boston area, come check it out. Great place.
And for those of you who aren't, you can send real gifts to virtual addresses with Tiger Bow. If you don't know your date's address, you can still send flowers, a card, or any other treats your match might like. Visit tigerbow.com and use the code FLOWERS for 20% off the flowers of your choice.
Awesome.
Okay, so email of the day, viewer wrote in, and he is meeting the family for the first time and 100% sure that the topic of politics is going to come up. And his partners told him this, but they have differing views. So what do you do?
I'm going to deflect.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to deflect.
Okay, that's okay, because I actually have an answer. Unlike some people.
Okay.
So,
I have one.
Here's what you should do. You should try to stay really, really vague. We don't want you to lie. We don't want you to agree to something that you're uncomfortable with. But, for example, if they were to ask, what do you think of Obama? You could say something like, oh, you know, I'm not really sure yet, sort of just watching what happens, and we'll see. Instead of saying you love him or you hate him.
There you go.
Also, you could say something like, if they dig a little deeper, oh, you know, it's interesting to see the healthcare issue, like, wonder what he'll do next.
Yeah.
Try to stay really even-keeled and, like, neutral, if you will.
Definitely.
And then move on. Get on to a different topic. Deflect.
Yeah.
Just like Thomas just did.
I'm good at that.
And find something else to talk about that you can... and especially if it's a topic that you know that he's passionate about, if you know in advance that he likes wine or something, if you bring that up, he's probably just going to, like, forget all about the politics.
For sure. Okay, so here's my answer. So for someone who isn't really politically focused, I know what's going on, but I don't focus it. I don't dive into it very deeply. I'm not ashamed of that. And so what I would say is what Laurie said, but then add on after that, say that, you know, I'm not as passionate about politics as you might be, so I wouldn't be able to carry on a great conversation.
And in fact, that would be a good way to, like, wrap it up.
Yeah.
Too. And I maybe wouldn't say you can't carry on a conversation about it. You might not want to say that.
Well, remember, you carry... Well,
if they're bringing it up, they want to know that you can. But you could say, you know, that you just can't really talk too high level. You can only really talk high level about it because you don't really pay close attention.
Yeah. Something along the lines of that, where you just say that, okay, I'm just not going to be good at this conversation right now, and it's cool. And so, can we talk about wine? Something like that would be good.
Sounds good.
All right, so that wraps up this week's episode of Love Nation. If you want to follow us, you can catch us on Twitter. I'm your wingman,
and I'm eFlirt Expert.
And we'll see you guys next week.
See you then.